got some rather unfortunate news for Oklahoma Sooners women basketball. Coach Sherri Coale has retired after 25 seasons head coaching the team. She started head coaching this team in 1996, 1997 season. Just a couple accolades that she's had. She's now 56 years old, but let me tell you something, Nate. She has a pretty good resume, and you can argue that she should be in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in general because the Basketball Hall of Fame does everything from overseas to the NBA to women's basketball. It's not just, NBA. So you can make a case that she belongs in that Hall of Fame. She's in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. She was an inductee in 2016, but you could definitely make a case that she should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm going to read these accolades right now, Nate. She has took Oklahoma in her 25-year career to 19 NCAA tournament appearances, has a record of 512 and 293, a four-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, and she has taken her team to four Final Fours in 2000. Oh, my bad. She's reached three Final Fours in 2002, 2009, and 2010. And I have a quote from her right here, and it says, and I quote, what is actually is a couple, so I'll read them as quick as I can so everybody knows. So the first quote from her is, being the head coach at the University of Oklahoma has been a privilege of my lifetime. I am grateful to my players for letting me coach them. That's a gift I never take lightly and joy unlike any other I have ever known. I want them to know that they've left pieces of themselves in me and I am better for it. And then she said, it's never easy to leave no matter how great a thing you are running to because something is always left behind. It's hard to leave these players this season, bunch of gritty competitors who built their wings in the fiercest of winds, clawed their way to sacredness of team. The season will always be one tattooed on my heart. But that's the trick about sports and the magnificent gift of the team. It gets in you and it never goes away. Lucky, lucky, lucky me. So you know what, Nate? Um, you start off first. Your thoughts on Sherri Coale retiring after 25 seasons?
First of all, I wish her the best of luck in retirement. She's obviously had a huge contribution to this team. And yeah, Mario, I absolutely agree. I mean, she should definitely make a case for her being in the Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna make a case. I think she should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, with a record of 512 and 293, I gotta be honest with you, Mario. That's a lot better than some coaches in the NBA, depending on who you look at. I mean, she's a four-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. That's very impressive. She's taken her team to the Final Four three times. She's won six Big 12 regular season titles. I mean, what else can you ask for out of the coach? You know, she was obviously very successful, and she proved to have longevity. She coached this team for 25 years and did all that in a 25-year span. I mean, what else can you ask for a coach? She's obviously really great at what she does, and I wish her nothing but the best of luck in retirement. And I definitely do think that she should be in the Hall of Fame. I really do.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Nate. And the source for this was ESPN. Just want to mention that real quick. Yeah, usually when you have a coach who has above 500 wins, usually that is a great, great accomplishment, especially after 25 seasons. She has a longevity. Out of the 25 seasons, only six of those seasons they didn't make it to the NCAA tournament, which I think is very, very impressive. Final four, three Final Fours. Like, I mean, you look at it, Nate, she knew what she was doing as a head coach. She was a very, very good head coach. And obviously it was kind of a disappointing season. Well, not disappointing, but it's not the season that you would hope from her. Like they only went 12 and 12, but as you heard in that quote, that team left an effect on her no matter what the record was, because considering it was her last season. And you look at like all the teams from 1996 that she has coached, like I mean, I gotta be honest with you, Nate. She definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about that. Um, yeah, I mean, 512 wins, Nate. Obviously, a big deal. They have four-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. Like, you really can't argue with it, Nate. And the Basketball Hall of Fame. A lot of people look at the Basketball Hall of Fame and they think of NBA players, right? And they think about NBA players being in the Basketball Hall of Fame, but a lot of people forget that the Basketball Hall of
It
Fame is
applies to
also
every
for
basketball player and
coaches.
anywhere.
Yeah, NBA coaches. It's also for reporters. It's for college coaches. It's for women's college coaching. So it's for a lot of things. So you can definitely make the Basketball Hall of Fame without being part of the NBA. So like, so man, like I'm hang on a sec. I'm gonna look up some players in the WNBA that went to Oklahoma University. Courtney Paris, Danielle Robinson, Ashley Paris, Amanda Thompson, Stacey Dales, Rosalind Ross, like there, Abby, Elijah Wan. I mean, there's been a lot of great women's players who came out of that school, and a lot of them were a lot of them were coached under Sherri Coale. So I guarantee you, if you ask any of these players, like what Sherri Coale meant to them and or what effect did she have on them, they're all going to tell you a lot of positive things, and she's done an absolutely amazing job. Obviously, like from what I'm reading, I don't know if she's ever won an NCAA championship. If somebody knows, please put it down in the comments. I haven't read it on this article, but even without it, Nate, you can't deny that she has a Hall of Fame career. And lastly, before we end this topic, I just want to go to the athletic director at Oklahoma University. I want to read his quote on her. He said, and I quote, "Sherri Coale has encouraged everyone from players to peers to leave your story better than you found it. She walked her talk, her transformational impact on women's basketball at OU, which in turn inspired generations of young girls throughout our state to play the sport, is nearly impossible to measure. There are certainly milestones of Halls of Fame inductions to Final Four to conference titles to All Americans and beyond. But it was the elevation of a program's profile of nation's elite that will be best reminded." So yeah, Nate, you know what? With that being said, I mean, there's really nothing else for me to say about her. She obviously has a Hall of Fame career, in my opinion, and in yours. Others might disagree, and that's okay. But that's not going to change our opinion. After reading all the accolades she's accomplished, there's no doubt this lady belongs to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So with that being said, I just want to congratulate Sherri Coale on a great women's college career or college coaching career, excuse me. And I wish her the best of luck in the future.